Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the debut record from Kill the Lights, The Sinner, out August 21st on Fearless Records. This album has 11 tracks, 44 minutes in length, and this band is made up of former member from Bullet for My Valentine, Michael Moose Thomas on drums, Throw the Fight James Clark on vocals, Jordan Whelan from Still Remains, and Travis Montgomery of Threat Signal on guitars. These guys bring all the influences of their past, present projects and bands into the mix, and they create a very interesting blend of sound and structure in the way this album is put together. It would be impossible for four talented guys like these to put an album together to create a band and not have the past dictate a little bit of the present and the future. So I feel like there is a little bit of that in this case here, but that in my opinion just enhances the overall flavor and feel of this album. It's not like they copied something that one of them had done in the past. They really created something fresh, something new, something different, but they did it in a way that they still were able to bring elements of their past experiences into the mix and allow that to enhance the overall flavor, the overall quality of this record. This is an album that has to be divided into three main core elements if you are to analyze everything that makes it tick, and that is structure, sound, and vocals. I love the structure on this album. When you think about this record and you think about the qualities that it has, structure is one of those. It has the perfect ups and downs, the perfect fluidity to take you from the first track to the last track. It never gets repetitive. You really feel like you're in the ocean and you're going through those waves. Sometimes you're hitting songs that are a lot heavier, a lot more intense, a lot more aggressive, and you're at that peak of the wave, and then you come back down with a track that's a lot more melodic, more of a ballad that really numbs you before you get back up into that peak all over again. And this happens throughout the record. This up and down flow exists throughout the record, but also on the individual tracks themselves. And that is why the structure of this album is so interesting and so dynamic, because what you have in the big picture of the album is also present in the microcosms of the individual songs that the album has. I love that aspect of it, and I love how those two pieces interact with each other and allow the album to be dynamic and fluid, which needs to be when you have this specific sound. And the sound that you have on this record is one of a melodic metalcore approach to it. I love the drums, I love the guitars on this album. I want to start off by the drums because I felt the drums on this record were very heavy when they needed to be, really giving the songs a strong backbone, a strong presence, a base in which the tracks can be built upon in order to give that strong foundation that the songs need. So I love the drums on the record, and I love the dynamic mechanisms that they have, switching between heavier sides, more melodic sides, creating tempos, creating interesting fluidities within the song. I just love the overall drums on the record. I thought they were phenomenal. I thought they had the perfect presence on every single song, really giving an extra bite, an extra feel, an extra texture to the way these tracks were created. As far as the guitars go, very melodic, very heavy at times, very driven, but most important, very dynamic. I love the guitar sound, very crisp, very clear, very melodic, like I said, but very well mixed in with everything else that is happening. I love the solos on the record. I thought they were phenomenal, really understanding the momentum of the tracks, really understanding the melody and the atmosphere that the songs hold, and then creating the perfect solo that either ignites the song or that matches the same mood that the track has, always going with a perfect balance in order to create a more balanced approach to the tracks, because the songs are very dynamic. They move in so many different ways. The album is very dynamic, up and down, up and down. So you need some elements to find some pieces that they can hold on to in order to create a more balanced approach. And in my opinion, the guitars did that throughout the record because they were consistent across every single song on the album. Same thing with the drums. Very consistent approach, changing how it delivers the guitars or how the drums are delivered, but always very consistent across every single song, really allowing the album to feel and the songs to feel a lot more balanced, a lot more cohesive, even though they're pushing you sometimes in different directions. As far as the vocals are concerned, I love the mix of harsh and clean. I love the clean vocals, most of them all, because I felt that they were haunting at times, they were melodic, they really catch the essence of the lyrics, and they really transport you into the song. The delivery was at times emotional, really representing well what the content of the track had in store for you. So I felt more connected with the clean vocals from that perspective, because I felt that there was more of a range, there was more of an artistry to it in terms of how those vocals were delivered, how the little nuances were picked upon from every single track in order to really enhance the lyrical content and enhance the story that they're telling you within the songs themselves. The harsh vocals are just outbursts of energy, outbursts of aggression and intensity. They work well and they have their place within the record, but they don't offer the same mechanisms, the same dynamic fluidities that the clean vocals do. But when you put them together, they found once again the perfect balance throughout the record. Going with just clean vocals on some songs, mixing them both together, adding predominantly clean vocals on one track and then just a little bit of a sprinkles of harsh vocals. They always found the perfect balance in every single song on this record. And that to me comes from the experience that they have that allowed them to do that. Really understanding the songs, the dynamics, where the songs are on the record and what did they needed vocally on those tracks. I also like some of the other things that they did as far as backing vocals are concerned, really adding a few layers, adding a little bit more texture to the way the tracks are delivered. Overall, this album really showcases the experience that they have and knowing what they want, knowing what they can do, and then executing it to perfection. The mixing on this record is outstanding. I love it. Everything is crisp, everything is clear, nothing is overshadowing anything else. Everything is perfectly coming together in order for you to really see and feel every single element that each song has to deliver. From a musical perspective, from a vocal perspective, but also from an emotional, lyrical perspective. Overall, this record is really complete. I really felt that they did a perfect job balancing it out, creating heavy tracks that you can headbang to, and then creating more melodic, melancholic tracks that you can have more of an introspective look into it. Once again, a really outstanding record, really well balanced across all different parameters, and really well delivered and executed. As far as songs are concerned, I want to start off with Open Your Eyes. Heavy riff, powerful drums to open up the track. The verses have a little bit more heaviness, both musically and vocally. They morph into a more melodic approach as you reach into the chorus. Definitely the chorus is a lot more melodic. It has a lot more of a different feel, of a different atmosphere, if you will, versus the chorus. Also comes from the clean vocals that you get in the chorus. They add melody to the already melodic presence that the song has in that specific part. Using backing vocals add volume to it, but they don't necessarily make the track heavier. The track is still super melodic in the chorus, even with the backing vocals. The backing vocals just expand on the sound, it expand on the impact that the chorus has in making the track a lot more dynamic, a lot more fluid. And then when you mix in the verses, the heaviness that the verses have, this is a really nice track, really well balanced with the necessary ups and downs. Similar, a microcosms of how the whole album is put together is present in this track and how you go up and down from verses to chorus, verses to chorus. I really like the solo as well. It really picks up on the melody that the track has, and in my opinion for this song was very important because you have these ups and downs. You need something that kind of bridges those two worlds, and I felt that the solo did that. They picked up a little bit of the melody that the chorus had, but it also had the impact, the intensity that the verses had. So it really balances the song out really well, and it gives it a little bit more composure, if you will, to the way it's put together. Next, The Enemy, very driven track, great tempo, perfect blend of harsh and clean vocals throughout the song. I really felt that it was really one of the key aspects of how the song stayed balanced all the way through. The song shows you in the chorus a little bit more melody, or the melody picks up a little bit more. It allows the verses to feel even heavier than what they are. I like that contrast. I like that. It changes your eyesight when you're going through the song, and it has an abrupt change. It's not necessarily a song that morphs from the verses into the chorus. This song really feels like there's a little bit more of a break, if you will, but I like that. It creates the necessary fluidity for the track, for you to stay engaged with the song throughout the different parts, throughout the different portions of the song. They use a little bit of a vocal guitar bridge instead of a solo. I was expecting a solo on this track. I thought they could really include a solo in that portion and make it work. They decided to go with more of a vocal guitar bridge. It still works well. It still expands the track. It still pushes the song. It's almost like a placeholder. It keeps you moving. It keeps you waiting and just waiting for what comes next, for what comes next. So it works, but in my opinion, the solo there perhaps would have made the song even bigger, even better. But I like the way they approach it so that it wouldn't become repetitive. Perhaps the solo is what I was expected, and that's why they didn't go with it, because they wanted to throw something different at the listener and not just go with the expected solo in that specific spot. But that really doesn't take anything away from a very well created, a very well constructed track, very heavy track. The Enemy is one of the heavier tracks on the album. Last but not least, Unmoved. This is the closing track. Great guitar intro. I really love how it starts. The guitar is absolutely phenomenal. The vocal changes really gives the song a little bit of a live anthem vibe to it. Specifically when it opens, it feels like a choir, like multiple voices coming in, and that always, in my opinion, when you hear that on a track, you always go back and you feel like you're listening to a song that's being played live, or at least a song that would work very well in a live setting, because you could have that back and forth between the band and the audience. It creates that synergy between both parties. The track moves at a blistering speed. The clean vocals, electronic vocals, backing vocals, you get a little bit of everything on this track. A little bit of a glimpse of everything that was used throughout the record shows up all together at once in the last song on the album as far as vocals are concerned. I felt that it matched the vibe of the song, it matched the mood of the song perfectly well. It gave the song the necessary changes in order to ignite the track. The solo adds a lot of melody, and it has a little bit of an old school vibe to it, so I really like how it was put together, how it was constructed, and how it fit within the track itself. It closes off strong, and it closes off almost abruptly, so perfect end to the record. It really is the curtain coming down, but coming down extremely fast. Love this record by Kill the Lights, The Sinner. Once again, out August 21st on Fearless Records. What a debut album. You could really feel the energy, but also how much experience these guys really have, that they're able to create a record that's this cohesive, this dynamic, this fluid, that all the right pieces are in the right places. Absolutely magnificent. I love the album. Alright guys, now it's your turn. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care guys.